Here we are, ready to show you how the tournament system scoreboard works. Okay, you went through our video of installation. The installation of the tournament software is pretty simple. Basically, you just run the setup software and it quickly installs, and you get this icon on your desktop called Karate Tournament System Scoreboard app. Okay, we're gonna double click the app and it's gonna ask us for a password user, admin. In this case is admin, but usually it will ask you first if you don't have any data installed before. It's going to ask you to create your first user account. Once you do that, you'll get this screen. This screen is requiring you a license agreement, which is you will get with your software in the folder of the setup file where he sets all the files on your folder. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna click here on the select file, and on your folder you will get this file, which is your HTML registration key code. Once you get this, you're just gonna double click it and it'll quickly tell you just registered. In the case you did not receive that license, then you have to request one straight from us, and we will gladly help you out with that. Okay, so once you do that, it will log you out and it'll ask you to log in again, and you just go in, and now you quickly have your software on, ready to go. So this tournament system software will allow you to run a scoreboard for your competition, for your kumite competition tournament. Let's see how does it work. Okay, we're gonna go here. We get 4 buttons. These 4 buttons give us the four basic ways you can run the software. You also get them here on your menu too, okay? And you get other options here in your menu, like for example security, where you can reset your password, create users, and a lot of different things. But we're gonna just focus on these 4 buttons, which is they basically do everything you need to do in order to run the software. Remember, we are using this large screen in order to be able to show you the both sides of the software at once. In this case, we're running the software what is called self-contained. Self-contained means it will run within inside the software screen. The other one will run as a floating window. And let me explain to you what in a self-contained means. So if I go here and I open my first dashboard where it allowed me to start creating my tournament, look at this window. If I minimize this windows and I put it here to the side, my bad, yeah, exactly, all right. And I'm here and I try to take this window outside of this window. You see, I can't. I just can't take it out. It is self-contained within this windows. So this is a way of running the software. This is one way. And then the other way would be allowing this window to run everywhere freely. It will be called a floating windows. We'll do that in the second part of this video. So let's work on this part of the video. We're just gonna make this a little bit bigger, and we're gonna open our second screen. So the first thing we do is we create our combat. So once we open this screen, we went to the first button, okay, and the local, and now we're gonna just go here and click new combat. Okay, so I click here. Once I click new combat, I quickly get a window, which is just gonna be my control. This is where I'm gonna control everything. This is my control center. And now the next thing I have to do is, once I open this windows, I need the windows that I should be showing to the public. That will be my second window here. There's scoreboard local. We're gonna click it and it's gonna quickly open another windows right here. I'm just gonna move it here so you can see it. And on this windows, we're gonna open the window we're gonna show to the public. So we just click open and it quickly shows here that window. Beautiful, great. Okay, very important for you to know that when I open this windows, it assigned me a code name 509. When I open this window, I open the code 509, which is mean I can open all the different windows of the different competitions I did before. But if I want to open this new one, I've got to make sure this matches with this. So I got to make sure that the 509 matches with this. And it will match automatically as long as you first open this windows and then you open this one. If you open it out of order, well, then you need to know about the matching of these numbers, because it will open with the previous event and not with the current event. Hope you understood that. Let's keep going. So great. How does this windows work? Well, here you get a space where you could get the competition, the competitor's name. So let's write one name there. It's gonna be one of the competitors, and then it asks you what is gonna be the dojo name. It's gonna be CIC Zone, and then you get the other competitor. Well, the other competitor is gonna be called Junior. And what is gonna be his dojo name? Let's call him San Juan. My bad. Dojo. Beautiful. And all we're gonna do is we click tab so that we could keep going. And now this is what we get, right? We get this windows with this start and stop. You start the time. When the time starts, you get a go. With this, you stop the time, and when you stop it, you get a stop. You also get a beep, which will allow the judge or referee to know that the time has been stopped and that the time has started, so that he knows what's happening with the time. Next thing you're gonna have is you're gonna get your score points. So here you get your 3 points with the ippon. Here you get your 2 points with the wasari. And here you get your 1 point with the juko. And if you want to eliminate points, if you want to subtract points, you will just go to the minus and it will subtract 1 by 1. Okay, great. Then you also get your senshu. If he's the first one to get your points, the senshu, you will press it here. When you get your scores done here, you automatically get everything happening on your scoreboard. You see, it is automatically. And you also get some artificial intelligence or some algorithms that are working inside. Like for example, or instance, if you do senshu to him, you see how it disabled the senshu for the other competitor. That's some algorithms in there. Another thing you get is once the competitor gets to 8 points, you get the message telling you who won. Tells you Aka wins. You click OK, and it quickly blinks, and it gives you a win here, and it also gives you a win over here. That win will allow you to know that you just won your bout. Okay, great, great. We're doing very good. So now, what's the next thing we should know? The next thing we should know is that once you get your competitor to win, you will get disable your buttons for more points for the opposite competitor. So if by any case this competitor before he lost got a point, and then this competitor got a point, you got to start with the one that lost first and then with the other competitor. So how can I do this if it would have been the case? Well, I would have just erased these points so that I get my buttons enabled again, and then I would have just gave him the point that he would have got, and then I would have come here and give him the pawn, which would have given me the win, but he would have got his point, and at the same time I would have been showing it to the public. Okay, great. So let's keep going. The next thing we're going to do now is see how does all the different areas of penalties work. So for instance, if you get a penalty, you quickly get your penalty shown. So if you get a Chukoku, category 1, it will show it right there. If you get a Keikoku, it will show it right there. If it is in Hansoko Chui, HC, it will quickly show it right here. And if you get a Hansoku, it will quickly show it right here. with the benefit that if you just go straight to Hansoko Chui, it will do all the spots by himself. Same way, if I go all the way to Hansoku, it will give me all the spots at the same time. And then remember that if you get a Kiken, it will also show it down here so that I know that it showed the Kiken. And if, sorry, that's the Hantei. And if it's a Kiken, same thing happens, right? It shows you the Kiken. And if you see the Hantei, is some algorithms there working for us. For example, if you get a Hantei, you can't give Hantei to both competitors, so it won't let you do the other competitor if you gave it to one. And if you give it to the other, it won't let you do the other competitor. But it will let you Kiken one competitor and Kiken the other competitor. It will let you do both. Same thing with the Shikaku. It will let you do both at the same time, two Shikakus. Shikaku is interesting because when you click Shikaku, it will allow you to save the information of why did you got Shikaku. So this information will be stored here and will be saved with this fight, so that you know why, with this combat, so that you know why he got Shikaku. That's a great thing to know, right? And that also happens with the other competitor. You also get his Shikaku area so that you could work with it. Great. The other thing you get is the wins. So let's work on that. Once you get a competitor to win, you get two ways of getting that done. Either you let the time run up, and then the time will pop up and give you the message telling you the time is up and what competitor win. Or if the time doesn't run up but they make their points or whatever, you can come straight here and just click results, and it will use an algorithm to figure out who won based on what, right? So for instance, in this case, it's telling me that red won, and you're gonna say, but why did red won if red has 0 and Ao has 6? Well, he won because based on this that we have on screen, this competitor, blue, Ao, was disqualified. So it doesn't matter how many points he had, he got disqualified, so Ao Aka would have won. If I would have taken this checkbox off and now I click results, then Ao would have won because he had more points. Same thing if I would have gave the fight to Aka by Hantei for a weird reason, because it is no way that could happen. Yep, and that's right. If you would have give that to Aka for any weird reason, it would have gave you the fight there. But like in this case, if you get a Shikaku, even if you got a Hantei, it wouldn't give you the fight. So the algorithms are working for you. They doesn't let you get a mistake to happen unless you want to go with the override. Override, well, even if this fighter won by every means of the rules, you want to override that win and give it to the opposite competitor. You get this override down here, which is if you click it, will override the results and make this competitor win even though he did not win. But in your case, if he did, this would be the way to show the win, so that the win could come up here and you could see that competitor won. That's one of the ways. Then you also get this button down here, which is what it does is it closes this window. So instead of you having to go with your mouse and looking for the window, looking for a way to close, like in this instance, this window doesn't have a button to close. You see, it's nowhere to be found. So you click here and this will close that windows. So we take the checkbox off and we double click it again and we get our windows back right here. 1 second, let's do it one more time. There it goes. We get our windows back. And now what are we gonna do? Well, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna work with this area down here. Great. This area down here gives me some information very important. Usually we do a combat and we set it up for, let's say example, 1 minute 30 seconds. And we think that the combat is really lasting 1 minute and 30 seconds. But the truth is, that is not right. Usually with the James, with the Hajime, the competitor losing his bell, with the penalties, with competitors getting their gear loosened and they have to retighten it up. When you come to see, a bout really can take more than 2 or 3 minutes. It could even go up to 10 minutes, one bout. And if that happens, your tatami is not being efficient. And a way for a tatami manager to know that is if he comes here and he checks your bouts, and he checks that your bouts are taking more than the time that the bout should be taking. So this could give the tatami manager an idea of how much time is taking per bout in his tatami. So if he gets a division that is going to have 20 fights, 20 combats, and he's seeing that he's taking 10 minutes per combat, he can pretty coolly take a calculation of how much time is he going to take on each division they bring him. So this time is one of the reasons is that it starts automatically once you open your windows, and then you get another option for it. Let's say you get a knockout and you need to take a minute, 10 seconds knockout. You just will go here and click reset, and you will just let the time go for the 10 seconds. And once it's done, you will go to stop. And then if you want to keep it to continue, you click continue. So you get a stopwatch that you can use for a lot of different reasons. Maybe you're going to give a competitor 5 minutes to change his gear. So if you do so, you can start it here. You could just go quickly get a reset and let it go until it gets to 5 minutes. Once it goes to 5 minutes, you can use this time to help you out to run your tatami. That's what I'm trying to say with all these explanations. And how does it work? You click stop, it stops the time. Continue continues the time. And reset resets the time, so it starts all over from 0. Okay? Just like a stopwatch would do. Then we go to this area down here. This is a beautiful area and very important, and a lot of programs do not have this. And one of the things this has is this is what makes your fight end when it gets to 8. See, once it got to 8, this case is 9. If I take the 9 off and I do just 1 point at a time, you see it finished when it got to 8. So what it makes it finish when it got to 8 was this. If you wanted your fights to stop when they get to 5, you would just go here, my bad. You would just go here and let's go to 3. And if I go 1 more point and 1 more point, it would have stopped at what? At 5. Okay, so this will allow you to stop your fights when you reach the amount of points you understand your bout is going to be running. Usually it's set up to default to 8 because most fights end when they get to 8. The other thing you get now is also the differential of 8 or differential. For in this case, if you decide that the fights will stop when it gets a differential of 8, when I have 8 over my opponent, this is where you set it up. You will just take this checkbox off, and now I have to get 8 points. My bad, sorry. I have to get 8 points to win. And you're gonna say, whoa, that's the same thing than the other one. Nope, not really. Look at this now. I'm gonna take 1 point off, and I'm gonna make my opponent get 1 point. So you will believe that if I click one more time, I would have won. Nope, I didn't win. I click it one more time and now I win. Because I need to have 8 over him and he had 1. So the same thing happens if he gets now 8 too. So if he would have got 2, even if I got 9, I still didn't win. Now I needed 10. You see this? This is very cool because it allows you to do the differential of 8, and it will stop once it knows that you made the point that you need in order to win. So if I were to say this guy had 5 points, look at this, 9 points. I would have won if I would have want to win. Look, I need a bunch of points in order to win. I need 18 points. So very important you to know that the differential of 8 will allow you to do this type of competition, which is most likely is an elite event that runs like this. Only you see this happening when it's elite events. Most likely you never see it, not even with advanced events. It's most used on elite events, but you get this feature here which allows you to do that. And here you could just change this to 5. And now instead of differential of 8, you made it a differential of 5. So let's see how that will work. So if I would have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would have won, right? I get my win. And look at the win here. Look at the win there. But if I would have got one more point, once I got 5, I don't win. I still need a 6 point to win. So you can even do this for different type of numbers. Usually we do it for 8 in WKF, but you can use it for all different type of numbers in the future. Then you get this area where you get this checkbox checked. And what this does is allows you to set the time on your watch. So let's see a few ways you can set this time. Okay, I'm in a rush and I want to do it quickly. This box down here, the manual timer, works in increments of a second. So if I say here, I want this bout to be 60 seconds, and I click OK, and everything closes, and now all I gotta do is open my bout again. I go here, right? I bring it back over here, and now I get my 60 seconds or a minute, right? This is what I was looking for. And then I reopen my scoreboard, and I get my scoreboard with the time that I reset it. One of the reasons that we have to close and open is a security reason, because we don't want people changing the time in the midst of a bout, so that everybody knows if you did a change in time or you moved the time, they will know, because you will have to close the bout and reopen everything, and it will be visible. So this is like a security measure. So once you do that, that's what you get. You get your 60 seconds. You also get 60 seconds on your watch. And that's the way you will increase or decrease the time. If you wanted 45 seconds, you would have just done the same thing. 45 here. You click OK. Everything closes. And when you reopen your bout, you get that 45 seconds. So that would be one of the ways you will be setting up your time on your scoreboard. That's one of the ways. The other way will be using the presets. You get some presets if you go here and you disable the manual time by clicking here. You get the preset of the different times usually used on WKF events. 1 minute, 1 minute 30, 2 minutes, 3 minute 30, 3 minutes, 3 minutes 30, and 4 minutes. If you wanted the 4 minutes one, the same thing. You just will pick it, and you got to do the same thing. You got to apply it. So you click OK. Once it's applied, you go here, and now you get your time applied on your watch, and you get the time you wanted, your 4 minutes. Okay, great. It's looking good. So now we already set our time, and then we get this box here. It says 510, and what this box means is that this combat that you're doing is this number. So on your scoreboard, you will have to open that same number. But because that's always the number, the first number on your list, every time you open this one for the first time, you will get the same one here for the second time. But whenever you want to look for a combat that you already did in the past, then you will need to know this, because if not, you won't be able to match one thing with the other. So if I'm looking for the combat 509, you see I bring the combat 509 and I put it here, and I want to see the scoreboard of 509, I will have to go here and pick the 509, okay? And I would open the 509, and then this combat would be related, this scoreboard would be related to this event, if it is something that I want to do. Usually the only reason you will want to reopen a past bout would be if it has a shikaku and you want to double check what they said about the penalties, or if for some reason somebody's alleging that it was an error on your scoring or something like that. You get the option to go back and see past events, and this is beautiful and good, because when you're doing huge events with a lot of people doing tatamis, and they allege something, It is very hard because you wasn't there to see if whatever they are alleging is true. But if you can go back and see the bout, you could probably see if it was a mistake or whatever, and it will really be in handy for you. So that's what you get with this scoreboard, and that's pretty it. It is not much more to it. The other thing we got to learn now, I'm gonna click close here, and the other thing we're gonna learn is how we do it with a floating windows. And what is this of a floating window? Well, in reality, the way we just did it, it only will work if you're in a tournament where you probably don't get to have a monitor, or for some reason it is a very low budget event where you don't get to have you only get to go with your laptop or something like that. Well, then you will probably have to run everything from this screen. But when you go to an event where you could put an external monitor to face the public and all this stuff, the one you will want to be using is not this one, it's not the red one, it is the blue one. And how will you use this blue one? I'll explain to you right now. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to open your software 2 times. Yep, 2 times. That's what you're going to do. So for instance, this is my icon of the software, and I'm going to open the same software 2 times. So I double click it again, and it's going to ask me again for my user and password. The question is, how many times can I open my scoreboard? Well, you get in your license 30 instances of the software that you can open at the same time. That's a privilege that we give you once you buy our software. But the licenses for opening the software and running it have a license agreement that you should read and understand before you start using our software. But we do allow you 30 instances of opening the same software, which will allow you to run a very big tournament if it is the case. So this is what you get now. Let me explain to you quickly. What I did is this. I want to have these 2 screens onto the same monitor. So my laptop will be having these 2 screens at the same time. Okay? I want you to believe that this area over here is your other monitor. The monitor that you have facing the public would be this area here. So this is what we will do. We will use the blue one. With the blue one, which is just a floating window one, that's the difference between this one and this one. This is a local window, and this is a floating window. So I will click here, and this will open my console. Remember the console before? We click new, and up to there, we're the same thing we did before, right? Here's where the difference comes. The other windows, this windows, we will not open it with this main windows, with the first one we opened. We will open it with the second one we opened. Let me explain it again. You open one windows, the first one with this window, and then with the other software you open, you will open the second window. And the same steps again. The only thing I'm going to click open, and this is what is going to be different. When you get your software for the first time, your software is going to show this in black. These are themes of time that you can change. We include it to you in your version, one free theme that you just right click it here, click change, and you can choose this one. This one is included with your software. We also have different ones, but those are purchased separately. So this one will be the one you should be using with your scoreboard. Now look at this. This is what I mean by floating window. You see, I can grab this window, put it on my other monitor, and this is what the public will be seeing. I don't touch this anymore. I will be touching now my console, and I will be controlling this window with this windows through another software. Let's see if this works. So I go here and I click the competitor's name, Dario, and yep, lo and behold, we get the name right there. We're gonna get the dojo name, CIC Zone, and we click tab. Yup, there it goes. We got CIC Zone there. We're gonna say that the other competitor is called Junior, and let's click tab. Yup, we got Junior there. And we could just put the dojo of juniors, call it San Juan Dojo. We click tap. Beautiful. We got San Juan Dojo right there. So we got the competitors right there, and we got their dojos. Beautiful. Now everything works the same. You click start, you get your time to start. You click stop, you get your time to stop. You click your points, you get the points to show. You click your senshu, you get your senshu right there. If he does an amonestation, a penalty, you get it there. If Aka does the same thing, he gets points right there. If he gets a Yuko, Wasari or a Juko, he also gets it there. Then if he does a penalty, he gets it right there. And all of a sudden, let's say that the time didn't run out or something happened and it just finished, you can click results and you get your results right there. And it shows here the winner is that. If by any case he gets disqualified and you click results, quickly you get the win here now. Even though he has less points than Aka, he wins because he got disqualified. And then everything else down here works the same. You get your area of your stopwatch. You get your area to decide how you want the fight to finish. If you want it to finish because it gets to 8. When this guy gets to 8, he wins. And if it starts blinking, if you want to decide that it's a differential of 8, you get it here too. If you by any case want to close this window quickly, if something happened, I don't know, you just could go here quickly, boom, and it closes the window. If you want to reopen it, you take the checkbox off and then you just click open again and it opens right away back. No problems there. Then the last thing but not least, your time, you set it up here. If by any case you have to close the computer and you got to close the tatami, let's say the fight didn't finish, time was running, and you want to close your fight, all you got to do is make sure you click stop 2 times so that you make sure here you get your time stored in this area. And once you do that, this is one of the beautiful things of the software. If you get to have to reset everything because something happened or any situation happened in the tournament, you can shut everything down. You can even run another fight and then come back and finish this fight. So you go back and finish this fight. Beautiful. You click it here and everything will show the same time and the same scores, everything again. And it's like if you never left, and you could just keep going and the fight will run just like if it's never been stopped. So that's a beautiful thing to know, that if you click it stop 2 times, you will store the time here, and that will allow you to stop and close even the whole computer. If the computer crashes in the middle of a tournament or something, that will allow you to return to the state where you were before the crash happened. That's a good thing to know. So simple. This is a very simple program to use. There's not much to it. It allows you to run your tournament in a very nice and very professional way. It allows you to run your scoreboard. This would be your external scoreboard and this will be your internal. And in this case, this Windows is the floating Windows version and allows you to have multiple windows in different areas. And what I mean multiple windows is multiple windows. So for instance, let me show you what I mean by multiple. If I open another instance and admin, 1 second here. If I open another window, yep, another window. Like let's say this is a tournament that wants to have 3 monitors facing the public, the judges, 3 different areas that you want to have this facing your monitors. You will click here and you got your first monitor, which is you will put in one of the external monitors. You will click here and you will get your other monitor, which is you will be showing it to the public on the other end. My bad, because it went really far. Let me redo this part again, 1 second. This is what happened. I opened it. Let me fix this 1 second. That will be this one. Let me see. Let me see right here. 1 second. So yeah, I'll explain to you what happened. I opened this window too close to this one, so when it opened the scoreboard, it opened it outside the area viewable of us. So when I click here, open, you see it opened it over there. So let's fix that. That's beautiful. I'll take this checkbox off. See, that's one of the good things of having that button right there. If things like that happen, you can quickly resolve it with that button. So this one will be here, and then I will open this one, you see, and I will move it over here. And then this one, let's move it a little bit here because it's going to open it down there, because that's where we had it the last time. That's a feature design on the software, which what it does is it reopens your screen every time in the same spot. And why it does that, it does it so that you don't have to be moving and setting up your screens on every area every time. So all this is done, and now when I go here, let me see if you can see this, but when I go here, you should be getting beautiful. I think that's pretty fair. I think we could be a little bit more picky here and maybe here. So when I go here and I open my screen, I can now assign points to all of them at the same time, you see? So every monitor is showing your scores, and the time is running on all the monitors at the same time, and you get to have everything running, and this is a beautiful thing. You see, you get your penalties showing on each screen all at the same time, which will allow you to do a very, very, very professional event. Really incredible. And see, and the good thing of closing is once you close here, it will close all the screens at once, so you don't have to go closing 1, 2, 3. It will do that all for you. Okay, so I think that's about it. It's a very simple software that allows you to do tournaments. It's called the Karate Tournament System Scoreboard. It is a very affordable price. I hope you like it. And if you have any questions or any information you need, let us know. Contact us by email to our email, and we will quickly try to respond every question you have. Thank you for watching.